Okay, now that we understand the arithmetic we need to do to calculate the federal income tax, whether your taxable income is less than or equal to $739 or whether it's greater than $739, the different arithmetics we have to do, let's go to Excel and let's look at putting that arithmetic into the if function. Again, what the if function allows you to do is to make a decision, to go one of two ways. If a situation that you set up is true, do one thing. But if that situation you set up is not true, do something else. And the situation we're going to set up is we're going to compare our taxable income, the value in each of these cells, to $739. And as I did in the first little video, from $0 to $739, you're taxed at a rate of 15%. So we're going to test each value in column F. Is it less than or equal to $739? If that's true, then we're just going to take that value and multiply it by 15%. If it's false, we're going to take the tax on $739 plus the tax on the difference between the actual value and 739. So to start out, we're going to the formulas ribbon. The if function is a logical function, so we click on if, and you'll see that it puts it in the formula bar. It also starts the formula in the cell, and it gives us this wonderful function window where we can put in the different steps. Okay, so what's our test? We're building this function starting with the value in cell F4. So that's the first cell we're going to compare. So I click on the cell, it gives me that cell address. I'm comparing cell F4. Is it less than or equal to 739? That's my test. I'm checking, is it in that first tier of income tax from $0 to $739? If that is true, then what do I want to do? I want to take the taxable income and I want to multiply it by 15%. But we have that 15% down here in cell B18. You see I've highlighted in yellow. So what I'm saying is, instead of multiplying it by the actual value, 15%, by putting that 15% in a cell, I now have a cell address that I can use for my formula. And by doing that, if the value, the percentage should change, all I have to do is go down here to B18, change that percentage, and it will automatically update every one of your formulas. So when you're going to use the value over and over again, put it in a cell and use the cell address. And the cell address is B18. Okay, so it's if this is true, if the value in cell F4 is less than or equal to 739, take that value and multiply it by the value in cell B18, which is 15%. Okay, now, what if that statement is false? What if the value in F4 is not less than or equal to 739? Okay, that means it's over that bottom tier, and we have now two tax percentages we have to use. First of all, it's going to be taxed 15% of your first $739. Well, we've already figured out that's $110.85. So that's the tax on that first $739. Now, then we want to figure, okay, how much over that is it? How much over that do we have? And what I've done is figured it out. Okay, the taxable income is $837. All right, minus the base amount of $739. There's an excess of $97 here. That $97 is going to be taxed at the rate of 25%. Okay, so this is the arithmetic we're doing. We're taking our taxable income and subtracting $739 from it. All right, and where is our taxable income? It's in cell F4. Okay, so to our base tax, we're going to add 25% of the difference between the value in F4 and 739. But our 25% is down here in cell B19. So instead of using the percentage, I'm going to use that cell address. B19 at 25% times the difference between the value in F4 and 739. Okay, so the difference between the value in F4 difference $739. Okay, so our base tax $110.85, which is 15% of $739. The difference, the excess over 739, is F4 minus 739, and that's going to be multiplied times the value in B19. But let's stop here a minute, because you have to understand Excel is built on and programmed to use the order of operations. If you look at this arithmetic here, we have an addition, we have a multiplication, and we have a subtraction. Now the way it's set up, it's going to multiply the value in B19 25% times F4. So it's going to take 25% of $836. It's going to subtract $739 from that, and then add $110.85. That's not what we want to do. We want the subtraction to be done first. So when you want to change the order of operations, when you want one type of arithmetic to be done out of order, you put it in parentheses. So that's why we have to put parentheses around this, because now I'm saying do the subtraction first, then follow order of operations, because we want to take that difference, that $97, which is what 836 minus 739 is, times the 25%, which is in B19, and then add in that base tax, and we get $135.10, which is the correct value here. Okay, so if we okay that, there's our correct tax, and here is our function. And it says take the value in F4, compare it to $739. If that is less than or equal to, then just take that value times the value 15% in B18. If the value in F4 is not less than or equal to $739, then we're going to do this arithmetic, which is to take 25%, the value in B9, times the difference between the taxable income and 739, and then add in the 110.85. Okay, now here's the thing. This is our copy handle. You move here to the bottom right hand corner of the cell, and if you copy it down, well, that's not right. There are people here that don't owe any tax. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we know our first formula is absolutely positively correct. Trust me on this, it is correct. But let's go down to the next cell. Now this is row 5. So now we're dealing with this value in F5, which is $436.88. All right, so, okay, is the value in F5, let's look at the formula, and let me double click it here, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, is F5, the value here, less than or equal to $739? Well, yes it is. So we want to multiply F5 times, 15%. But 15% is in B18 down here, not B19. And then what should be B19 here is B20. So that's two wrong values. So it's not keeping the values, the cell addresses of B18 here and B19 here. It's moving down as you copy it down the row. It's adding a row to each of the cell addresses. That's not what we want. Okay, so we have a problem here. So let's get rid of all this because it's no good. And take a look at what we need to do. So let's go back up to our original problem here, our original function. Okay, what we want to do, if the value in F4, if our taxable income is less than or equal to 739, we want to take that value, F4, times the value in B18. But here's the thing. When we copy this formula down to the next row, we don't want B18 to change. We want it to be what's called an absolute address. That means it doesn't change when we copy the formula anyplace. It's always got to be B18, B18, B18. That's what we want. And to get that to happen, what we do is we put a $sign in front of the row designation and a $sign in front of the column and the row designation. So instead of just having B18, we have $B, $18. That locks that cell address into the function, the formula. It will not change no matter where we copy it. Now the same thing over here with B19. We don't want that cell address to change, we always want to use 25%, which is in cell B19. So again, I'm just going to put my insert point there, and I'm going to type a $sign and then move over. So in front of the B and in front of the row number, type $signs. Okay, now that makes the cell address B19 absolute. It will not change no matter where we copy our formula to. Okay, so I'm going to OK that, and I can OK it by hitting the Enter key, or I can come up here and click on the check mark right there, and it OKs it. Now see, it hasn't changed my value here because it's correct, but what it does is it makes the B19 and the B18 cell addresses absolute. So watch what happens when we get our copy handle and copy down. Okay, now $436.88 is less than $739. So it's taking that value in F5 times B18. It's taking 15% of $436.88, and that tax amount is $65.54. And all the way down, that's what it's doing. If you notice, I'm going to click and I'm going to down arrow in each cell. B18, B19 hasn't changed. B18, B19, because those values are what we want. The 15% and the 25%. Those are what we want all the way down the column. And that is what you need to do to correctly input the if function to figure federal income tax. That's how we do it. Okay.